Well, g'day curd nerds. Today we're going to talk about using pasteurised and homogenised milk and what it can result in your cheese making. And the resulting thing that normally happens is that you get a shattered curd, or a fractured curd as it's also known. So I'm making this video by request. Tanya Collins asked in the comments section, can you make cheese with homogenised and pasteurised milk? Jeff Clark asked, is it imperative to use non-homogenised milk, not an option within 1,000 kilometres of my location? And Mariana says, how essential is using unhomogenised milk? Can I use homogenised? Well, during this video, I'm going to show you what happens sometimes when you use pasteurised and homogenised milk that may or may not have been heat treated to a very high temperature and the fat globules broken up into very, very fine particles, which doesn't assist curd set. Now, let's just talk a little bit about pasteurisation and homogenisation to start with. So the process of pasteurisation is to heat the milk up quickly and to maintain it at a certain temperature for a period of time, and this kills any pathogens that may be in the milk, any harmful bacteria or yeasts that may curdle the milk quickly, and it gives the milk a longer shelf life. Now, as far as homogenisation goes, all that does is break up the large fat globules within the milk and makes the milk more consistent, and it prevents the cream from floating to the top. Now, it has been said that homogenisation assists the milk drinker in digesting the milk better. However, for cheese making, it causes all sorts of issues, and that is a poor curd set. Now, you can compensate a little bit for this by using calcium chloride before you start heating up the milk or during heating up the milk, and the extra calcium attaches itself to the casein and helps provide a better kappa casein matrix for the curd set when you add rennet to the milk. Now, it doesn't fix everything. If the milk has been, well, sneakily ultra heat treated as far as pasteurisation goes and homogenised, that prevents a very solid curd set like you would normally get with raw milk and unhomogenised milk, which I prefer to use. So let me just show you the fractured curds that I recently had in this experiment. I bought some of the cheapest pasteurised and homogenised milk that I could, that I knew was a little bit dodgy, that may even be ultra pasteurised and have added cream. So this can be an issue for the cheese maker. You can see there that the curds are shattered and fractured, and after I cut them, they just broke apart and went into about 1,000 trillion pieces, and it doesn't look like curd, it looks like milk soup, for want of a better word. So what can you do with this milk soup? Well, there's a couple of ways that you can recover. So what I did, I was trying to, at this stage, make feta, or a white cheese that is then fermented or pickled in a salt brine, a whey salt brine. So the curds fractured because I knew it was really dodgy homogenised milk. And then what I did to recover was I continued to stir it for about 20 minutes at the target temperature, about 32 degrees Celsius. And during that time, I continued to stir to make sure that I expelled as much whey as I could from the curds. And then I ladled the curds into butter muslin or tight weave cheesecloth in a colander. Now, because the curd particles were so fine that they would have slipped straight through loose weave cheesecloth. And that can be an issue because you're just going to lose all of your curds straight out with the whey in the bottom of the colander into the sink, and it's such a waste of milk. So by using a tight weave cheesecloth and allowing a little bit of time to go past, and in this case I tied up the cheesecloth into a bag by tying the opposite corners using a granny knot, and then hung it on a stainless steel hook, and I hung it over over the pot that I done the curds in, and allowed it to drip or drain for 4 hours. And this allowed enough of the whey to be released, and we had some curds left. So after that, all I did was then put the curds into a loose weave cheesecloth lined basket, and it doesn't really matter what basket it is. I pressed it under a little bit of pressure. In this case, it was about 2 kilograms or 4 pounds of pressure using a rectangle basket. And then from there, I flipped it a couple of times and then put it into a whey brine at 10%. That is typically used for pickle cheeses or fermented cheeses like feta. And the results have been good. So I've got a nice white cheese out of it, and it is salted enough that it is consumable, and you can eat it within a week, within 2 to 3 days if you really want to push the friendship, but I prefer about a week to allow at least some acid development and crumbliness within the cheese. So curd nerds, that is how to recover from a shattered curd. I find that's the best way, using a tight weave cheesecloth, put the shattered curd into it, drain it, and then put it into a mold, and then use a whey brine. Nice and simple. Another way is you can actually salt the curds if you want to, directly salt the curds after they've been drained in the bag, and you could use it as a very thick cream cheese, or let it drain a little bit less and you've got some sort of cream cheese. You won't find the same acid development that you would normally have with cream cheese or French cream cheese. It'll just be a plain cheese, salted, probably tastes a little bit like queso fresco, a really fresh sort of cheese. So I would definitely eat them fairly quickly. They're not going to age very well because not very much acid development within the cheese. So that's how you recover from using pasteurized and homogenized milk that is shattered or fractured during curd cut. Anyway, I hope that video has been informative for you, and that if you liked it, give it a thumbs up and subscribe to the channel to get more cheesy content. Well, thanks for watching, curd nerds, and I'll see you next time.